Right, so in a previous video, I showed you how to use Power Automate to post a status update to your Blusky feed. What we want to do in this video is do the same thing, but with Mastadon. In one way, it's slightly more complicated, and another way, it's slightly easier. But we'll get into those details as we kind of get into it. First, you're going to need a couple pieces of information as far as setup goes. So let's jump over to our browser here. So the first thing you're going to need to know is the server that your account is associated with. In my particular case, I'm using mstdn.social. So that's one piece of information that you're going to need to know for Mastodon. That's a little different. And then the other thing you're going to need to do is to set up an API access account. So click on Preferences and go into Development. And what you're going to want to do is create a new application under Development. Give it a name. We'll just call this Power Automate 2. And you don't need to change anything else up here. And then one of the things with Mastodon is that you can have a lot finer control over what permissions that API key is going to have access to. So in this particular case, if all you want to do is post to your feed, the only thing that you need to do is write :statuses. So go ahead and click that check mark and click Submit. And then what you want to do is go into here, and the code that you're going to need is this access code, or this access token. So you want to copy that out because you'll need that for Power Automate. The rest of it, you don't need any of the other information. That's the only thing that you need besides that and your server name. So let's go over here to our flow. Now, in this particular case, it's very simple. You don't need, remember with Blusky, you had 3 steps. You had to log in and get a session token, then you parse that, and then you would use that to post to your feed. With Mastodon, you don't need any of that. All you need is your HTTP action to post the status update. And it's very simple and straightforward to set that up. So the first thing you want to do is you want to have the URL to post to. In this particular case, it's /API/v1/statuses. And in here, you want to put that server name that your token is associated with. You can only use the server that your account is associated with because of the way Mastodon is set up and the way it works. So in that, it's a post, and you're going to have 2 headers. One is the authorization header, and you're going to pass in a bearer token, and you do bearer space, and then whatever that token is. So in this particular case, we would use this token here. We would copy that in. I'm not going to show you what my actual one is, of course. And then the other header that you're going to need is the content type. And this one, it's optional, but I've found occasionally, for some reason, it doesn't work if you don't include that. So I generally just leave it in there. And it's application /x-www.forum-URL encoded. Basically, it's so it lets it know that you're passing this in as form parameters instead of as JSON. And then in the body, you're going to put the actual post that you're going to be posting. In this particular case, you just do status equals and then whatever it is here. Now, the way that is a little bit easier than Blusky is if you're embedding URLs, all you need to do is just actually include it. You don't have to do anything special to get it to show up as a clickable link in your Mastodon post because it will handle it for you. So in this particular case, that's really all that you need. And just go ahead and test it. We'll go ahead and let that run. And you see we have success here. And then we'll just pop back over here. And you can see that it has posted to my feed, embedded the HTML, or embedded the URL link. And, with Mastodon, it's all taken care of for you. So, I mean, there's a lot of things information that you get back in the body of the response that you can see here. So you get the ID of the post. You can get a link to it. So that gives you a link back to the post if you want to use that for something else. There are other things that are included here, of course, little bits of information, a copy of it, and so on and so forth. It's very straightforward. It tells you what account it was posted to, and so on. So you can see in some ways Mastodon is easier. In some ways it's a little bit more difficult just in the initial setup. But once you get in there, it's a lot easier to work with. You can do other things, of course, with it. I mean, you can set it up as a scheduled post and things like that by adding additional parameters in the body here. So because it's form encoded, if I want to do like post at a different time, then I would do something like let's see here. So it'd be like whoops, scheduled at, and then I would put in the time, the date and time that I want to be posted at, that kind of thing. So it's very, very simple to add additional parameters. If you want to add a poll, if you want to add, some mark it as sensitive, things like that, you can add those as additional form parameters in your body. So it's very simple and straightforward to get going with Mastodon. And there you go.